Welcome to the CEO Insider Podcast, powered by YTexas and brought to you by Ryan, liberating their clients from the burden of being overtaxed, freeing their capital to invest, grow, and thrive. My name is Sandy McIlree, along with YTexas CEO Ed Curtis. Ed, I want to talk about your next big event. It's coming up. It's a big one, and it is with the buzz company on the globe, Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla. God, who doesn't like to talk about Tesla, right?
They got a lot going on, man. It's incredible, and Elon Musk just keeps doing amazing, interesting things, especially if you're into cryptocurrency. You saw that, right?
Oh gosh, yeah. You follow him on Twitter, you'll be sent in a million different directions.
Yeah, crazy. But you do have an event coming up. Let's tell everyone about it. It does involve centered around Tesla.
Yeah, so as I'd mentioned, we're doing a series of virtual events this year. And the first one was our launch in January, but the next one is on March 25th, and it's called the Tesla Effect. Mm-hmm. And we kind of came up with that name because, Tesla's obviously doing a lot of things in the state, but I think it's really affecting other industries, and it's just more than Tesla, right?
Mm-hmm. It really is. The event is another virtual event, correct?
Yeah, it's another virtual event. We're going to have the Workforce Commission, Aaron Demerson, the commissioner, and Tesla in a conversation about Tesla, workforce development, and then we're going to have some other panels with executives from the electric vehicle and autonomous vehicle industry because, Tesla's they're going to be manufacturing semis and electric vehicles, but there's a big element of the autonomous involved too.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? I think people are either on one side or the other on the autonomous car. I personally, I've got no science or facts to back it up. I think that's about probably a generation away. People of our age and generation, a little leery of getting in a car that drives itself, right?
Yeah, and there have been some accidents with, I think Uber had one, and I think Tesla had one. So, when you've got user error along with autonomous, that makes it difficult. That the smart people that know this say that the true way to go autonomous is the roads have to be equipped for autonomous. Our electricity systems, the 5G technology, the energy behind it all needs to be able to support it. And then the roads the roads and the cars need to be in sync. So it's kind of like, remember that track set you had when you were a kid and you just watched the cars go around?
Yeah.
That's really the autonomous world that, and again, it's not going to be in our lifetime, but.
Yeah, but it's coming, and you got to start working on it at some point, right? Speaking of working on it, Samsung is making quite a bit of noise, especially when it comes to Austin, Texas. And now they've had a presence in Austin, I want to say for about 15 years now, maybe a little bit more than that. But there's rumblings of a project in their semiconductor space that would dwarf the Tesla project.
Yeah, some say it's 15 times the size of the Tesla project. It's pretty amazing. And as you had mentioned, Samsung's been in Austin since 1997 when George Bush was the governor.
Wow. Okay, so it's much longer than I thought.
And I was reading back then, it was I think it was a $1.3 billion project. It was going to create, I think 1,000 jobs. And since then, they've expanded at least one other time. And I think they have close to 10,000 employees here. I think 7,000 of the 10,000 are contractors, but there's 3,000 that are full-time employees in Austin. And yeah, since 97.
And 1.7, did you say 1.7 billion in 97?
Yeah, 97. It's like a $1.3 billion project. And this new project, they started at $10 billion, and it's already up to, they say, around $17 billion investment. $17 billion. Tesla was $1 billion.
Right. Wow. And this is in their semiconductor world, right?
Yeah, it's the chip fabrication, and it's there's a lot to it. There's still, there's still rumor around. So, there are a lot of numbers being thrown out there as far as incentives. I know we're competing against a couple of other cities. I think Arizona. We're actually competing with South Korea. One would think that if you're assembling the phones and that's most of that assembly is done overseas, you would manufacture the chips right near the assembly plant, right? Well, I was looking into this, and a big reason why the manufacturing is being done in the United States is for military contracts. A lot of the military contracts are requiring that the chips, the memory, are manufactured here in the United States, and they have to ship the chips over to where they assemble the phones, which is overseas. So interesting.
Look at you doing your homework.
I'm learning a lot, man. And that's what I'm saying. I don't want to throw out a lot of numbers because some of this stuff is rumor, particularly as it relates to the tax incentives. But of course, whenever we talk about these deals, tax incentives is always, on the top of the list. And believe me, there are some big and tax incentives that will probably have to be thrown out there for this project. But again, from what I'm seeing, it's probably still worth it.
We get excited, being in Texas and being in Austin. We get excited when we hear things about this, but we have to keep in mind that there's other cities, like you said, they're bidding on this and hoping to get it as well. We were bummed out recently when the Space Command did not choose San Antonio, so it can happen. It can happen.
It can, and I'm telling you, man, it's a race for speed. Mm-hmm. And, you look at Oracle, you look at Apple, the investments that Apple are making, Apple and Amazon and I think Google are all saying that they're probably going to be outsourcing a lot of this chip manufacturing to companies like Samsung. So Apple has doubled down here in Texas. Mm-hmm. Samsung is already here in a significant way. And, I mean, my money is still on Samsung coming to, expanding here in Austin for this project, but it's, all the talent is here. The technology is here. The intellectual property is here. It's just, as we've talked about in other podcasts, it's really a domino effect.
And also, like they've been here since 1997 too. So they're very familiar, and familiarity I would imagine plays a big role in those decisions.
It does, and the city of Austin has benefited greatly from them. They know that. I think we know that. I think that's why the incentive negotiations are probably going to be pretty aggressive on their needs and wants. But if you look at what Samsung has done over the last, like you said, 15 or some odd years, it's been a huge boon for the area. Mm-hmm. And this new fabrication plant is basically just taking their chip manufacturing to another level. And this is above my pay grade, but it has to do with, the quality of the chips. I guess the plant that they already have here has its limitations on what it can manufacture with all the equipment that's already in place. Mm-hmm. So they're just going to build a new one that's relatively close to it on a tract of land that's right next to where they're already operating, and they're going to be able to up the game on the quality of the chips and the processing.
As small as those chips are, I mean, it'd probably just take one 747 full of them back to Korea to assemble them, so it's only one trip. You know what I mean? You could put a bazillion of them in one airplane because they're so small.
I know.
I've always wanted to see the inside. Those rooms are completely sterile and clean, and I would love to see the inside of one of those. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I'm sure if you're even allowed in, they probably, it's an escorted type.
Sure.
Type process.
Yeah, you can pull some strings for me, can't you, Ed?
We'll see. Yeah.
You couple calls. People. Make a couple of calls. Like you've got time to do that. You're too busy putting on fantastic events, including the Tesla experience, which I feel like we should remind everyone again about. And more information be at YTexas.com.
Yeah, you can see all of our events on YTexas.com. Go up to the events tab and do the pull down. But yeah, we've just opened up invitations, and we're pushing up against 200 already, and we've only opened it up for a day. So if you remember, our summit had over 600. Our last event had over 800. So we're shooting for over 1,000 on this one.
Nice work, man. Really nice. Good stuff. All right, man. It's good catching up with you. Last question. Did you enjoy the Super Bowl?
I did, actually.
I did too.
I did. I really enjoyed it. I didn't have as I say in Texas, a dog in the hunt. I really didn't.
Right.
It is pretty remarkable what Brady and Gronk and that whole team did. I mean, It really is.
You know, and I got nothing against Patrick Mahomes. I love him. I think he's a great kid. I think he's an amazing talent on the football field. But I'll take experience over youth every day of the week.
Yeah, any given Sunday, right? I mean, look at what Mahomes did all through the playoffs. I just think they had a bad day. And look, Tampa Bay's defense was awesome.
Very stout. Very stout.
And, yeah, it was fun. I can't believe it was the first home game for the Super Bowl winner.
I know, it's
the Super Bowl. Anyone in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, never happened before. They got to play in their home stadium. By the way,
Could you imagine if we weren't in this virtual world, how crazy Tampa Bay would have been?
Oh, it would have been nuts. Did you happen to see, by the way, and I'll let you go, but the guy that ran out on the field, the Super Bowl streaker?
No.
Okay, you didn't see it?
Oh,
well, you'll see it if you look online.
I don't surf the net like you do. I work for business.
Well, just a quick guy got on the field, right? Ran around, got tackled, got hauled off. Funny thing is, he had made bets all over the place, he and his friends, on whether or not someone would run onto the field. It was a prop bet. And so he and his friends made bets at Bovada.com, an online casino, and they won. They bet $50,000. They won $375,000.
No.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he spent a night in jail. He had a hard time on Sunday night, but he got supposedly $370,000 for doing it.
It's a good work's pay.
It's the world. It's a world we live in. Ed, good catching up with you, man.
Okay, thanks a lot.